Hi everybody, this is my delayed Talk Tuesday about self-confidence, and interestingly I have just been speaking for the best part of 15 minutes about exactly that subject, but I discovered when I went to end it that it wasn't actually live for some reason. So if you've been wondering why I wasn't here at 4 o'clock, it's because something went wrong with the system, but anyway, I'm here now. So I will repeat what, or more or less what I said about self-confidence. And the reason that I picked this topic today is, as always, it was one that popped into my head. It's a topic that I haven't spoken about, I don't think, for quite some time. And it is something that comes up a lot. So I thought it would be helpful just to go over a few ways in which you can increase your self-confidence. So the first one is to not compare yourself with others. It's incredibly common, it's almost human nature, I guess. We compare ourselves with other people, but those people that we compare ourselves with adversely are usually much further along the path than we are in that particular area that we want to be good at. So for example, say a public speaker, you might just be starting on your journey of public speaking, but you're looking at people who've been doing it for years and years and years, who naturally are really good at it because they've had loads of practice. So it's not a fair comparison to compare yourself at, step 1 on the journey with them at step 20 on the journey, because they're bound to be better than you at that stage. But the important thing to remember is that they had to start at step 1 as well. It's just that you're not seeing that. And we are all on our own paths. Everybody has a different path, a different journey, and we're always at the right point in our journey for ourselves. So it really isn't helpful to compare ourselves adversely to other people. There's nothing wrong in looking at other people for examples if you bear in mind that they are further along the track and we can learn from them. What we don't want to do is to beat ourselves up about the fact that we are not in the same place as they are, because, as I said, they are much further along the path than we are. So the important thing is to be yourself exactly as you are, and to learn as you go along, because you will have different skills and accomplishments that that person you're comparing yourself with almost certainly won't have. Which brings me on to point 2, which is all about celebrating your achievements and acknowledging your accomplishments, because you will have lots of skills. You may not appreciate that you've got them, you may not realise you've got them, because we have a tendency to dismiss those things that we're good at, that other people might admire us for, because it's something that comes naturally to us, and so we don't see it as a particular skill or a particular accomplishment. But it's really important to realise that we do have them, and it can be particularly those things that we think come, that come really easily to us, that we think nothing of. Other people could be really envious of us for being able to do that. So in celebrating our achievements, one thing that I recommend to my clients a lot is to actually keep a folder, or sometimes a notice board, of other people's acknowledgements of what you are good at. So, maybe thank you cards that you've received from people, perhaps a review or an appraisal at work, which is, really positive. Because, as I was saying earlier, we have a tendency to focus on those things that we don't like about ourselves and we don't feel that we're good at, whereas actually there are all those other things that we are really good at that other people have recognised in us and we tend to dismiss. So it's really worthwhile collecting for yourself a folder of thank yous, appraisals, reviews that are positive, and they're great to be able to refer to when you do have moments of self-doubt, and you can go back to them and remind yourself that actually, there is a lot that you're really good at. So then number 3 is to not dwell on your mistakes, because we all make mistakes, we're all human, we're all learning as we go on our journeys. And it's important that we do make mistakes because that's how we grow as people. But we do have a tendency to focus on the things that we don't see as having gone so well, rather than on those things that have gone well, those skills that we've got, those accomplishments that we've got. So it's kind of like the opposite of what I was just talking about. Acknowledge that we make mistakes, because how else do we learn? But accept that that is part of our journey, and focus instead as much as we can on our accomplishments and the skills and the things that we have learned how to do. So number 4 is to use affirmations. Now, I talk about them all the time. It's because they work. So in terms of building self-confidence, you could make a very, very simple and straightforward affirmation. It could just be, I am a confident person. Or it could be that if you're trying to build up your confidence to be a confident public speaker, like I was talking about at the beginning, you could say, I am a confident public speaker. What's important, as I've said before, is that it is in the present tense. It has to be present tense, otherwise it will always be something that happens in the future. It will be kept in the future rather than in the now. And make it in your own voice. I've just suggested a couple of phrases, but you need to have the affirmation in words that are meaningful for you. So whatever it might be, I'm a confident cyclist, I'm a confident climber, I'm a strong and confident person. Whatever it is, just make it up in your own words. And the important thing is to feel it as you are using that affirmation. You can say it out loud, you can say it inwardly, you can write it down, maybe put it on a notice board in a prominent position. You could pop it on post-its, which you can stick all over the place, wherever you might be looking frequently, like the bathroom mirror or a screen like I'm looking at now if you work with a screen. Just keep repeating them, because your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So if you keep repeating it, it will go into your subconscious and help that to come into being. So number 5 is another little exercise, and it's very straightforward to do. You just need to find yourself a little quiet time, sit down, perhaps close your eyes initially till you're used to it, and think back to a time in your life when you felt confident. It doesn't have to be, confident all the time, just a particular thing, a moment in time that you were feeling confident. Now, it might take you a little bit of time to think of that time in your life if it's not something that you've been focusing on recently. But don't worry about it. If you think back through your life, you will find a moment in time when you were feeling confident. And then picture yourself in your mind's eye as that confident person, exactly as you were back in that moment when you were feeling confident. And allow that feeling of confidence to grow within your body and inhabit your body, so that you have become, in your mind, that confident person again. It doesn't matter when in your life it was or what it was about. The important thing is to really notice that feeling of confidence. And just sit with that feeling for a few moments. And then when you've finished, you then need to do it again the following day. It could be at the same time. If you want to get into the habit of doing it, it's quite helpful to do it at the same time each day, because it is all about the repetition. And the reasoning behind it is that your body then becomes familiar with that feeling of confidence again, and it will be easy for you to drop into that feeling of confidence when you need to, if you've got something coming up that you are feeling doubtful about or lacking in confidence. It's a really helpful exercise to do. It's really a visualization, and you can just do it over and over again, day after day, until you start to feel naturally more confident. It's something that I used when I was doing a lot more public speaking recently, and I was coming up to the biggest talk that I'd ever given to 150 people, and I was visualising myself beforehand being a confident speaker, so that when I did get on stage and talk to people, it didn't faze me, the fact that there were so many people in front of me. So those were the 5 tips. There is actually number 6, which is just very straightforward. Practice, 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 practice. Just keep practicing being confident and feeling confident, and you will become more confident. So that was a quick run through what I talked about, probably at more length when it turned out I wasn't actually live. So I hope that this one has gone live. It says I am live, so hopefully you will have heard that and found it helpful. And the only other thing that I went on to say was about tonight's chakra dancing class in Braunton, which is at 7 o'clock at King's Acres School. It's going to be the last one on a Tuesday, because in June we're going to be moving to Thursdays at a different venue, but I will be posting separately about that. But it's just a reminder for those of you who were thinking of coming along that I will be there at King's Acres School tonight, even though it is half term. So thanks as always for watching. I will be back here again next Tuesday. I know I said last week that I hope to be back to a more normal time, but my diary next Tuesday is looking a bit clearer, so hopefully I will be back either first thing in the morning or lunchtime for you.